Hello, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here from Kyiv, Ukraine. Welcoming all of you back today to our special program. This program is for people who really are truth seekers. If you really want to know the truth, if you really want to be helped, people who really want to be helped, people who are not just after sensations, and people who are not just after, emotions of the things and jump here, jump in, jump out, but people who really want to know how to best maximize the materials that DSA has put out there. We have over 7,000 videos on my YouTube page, on my YouTube channel. 7,000. That's a tall call. So how do you find your way among all these videos? How do you navigate through the YouTube channel, and how do you even start? Now, what most people do right now is that they just go on YouTube, they see one video, and they press on it. And then that video leads them to another one, just randomly. So a random video, they press on that one too. Or they see several videos and look at the topics. And then just press the video that the topic is more appealing to them. So that's the kind of way most people listen to my videos. And some other people just come online. They come online, they like the vibe in the online something, the conversations, the comments, and they just come online, but they don't go to the YouTube to also explore all the materials there. So that's what my guests today will try to help us with. And because they themselves, being away from Ukraine and being in Nigeria and also not knowing where to start, but they started earlier. So they have an experience from their own experience, how they have been able to maximize the resources that are there on YouTube. So I have Uchechi and Chioma here today. So hello, Uchechi and Chioma, how are you doing today?
Hello, DSA.
Yeah, we're doing great.
We're great.
Yeah, the way you people are looking, you are looking like lovebirds.
Yeah.
It's almost like a family program we're having today.
Yeah. And thanks to DSA.
Yeah, go ahead, Uchechi.
Yeah, so at the time when we met DSA, we were just coming out from a very bad financial situation. I'd gotten into a bad deal, and at the time it wasn't just about me. I was owing people, so I was in debt. Things were not really looking nice, and from the way we were brought up at the time, when bad things happen to you, it's because of something wrong you've done. Either you.
Is it because of some? At least, thank God, it's not because of some spiritual generational causes.
No, but for me, I was asking myself, I was searching that what is it that I'm not doing enough? Is it that I'm not attending service enough? Am I not attending the weekend, the midweek services?
So your own errors are not in the area of spiritual generational causes. And my grandfather in my father's house, you people are more advanced. You are the sophisticated ones.
Yeah. So I grew up in a scriptural family, so we went much into those spiritual things. So we had passed that, but we were also at that time we're still living more transactional. We had a very transactional relationship with God, so it was more like you needed to play your own part for God to play His own part.
So it is you are bargaining, eh?
Yeah.
So what is your wait. What is your own part then?
Yeah, I needed to be very faithful to church attendance, religious activity. I needed to also pay my tithe.
No, that is your own part.
Yeah, that's my part.
But that doesn't have anything to do with God now. It has something to do with church, but not with God.
Well, our understanding was that anything you're doing in church, you're doing it with God.
Automatic.
So, yes, that was how we were raised. That's what we are taught. So at the time, we were looking for a miracle. In fact, what happened was that I was now, the little money I had, I would go and sow seed. Instead of trying to sort out my problems or trying to save to get out of my situation, I would go and sow seed, believing that, somehow.
No, but how could you do that? You are an educated person.
In Nigeria,
because if you are having debt, it is only logical that you need that money to save it to pay your debt.
No.
But you are going to use the little money you have to give to church. That is madness.
Because those were the testimonies we were hearing at that time. You have to keep giving, so that God will multiply that which you have given. So out of the little that was left, we were still having to part with it so that God's heart, would be changed towards us, because we actually thought we had offended God somehow. Yes. We thought maybe we weren't giving enough, we weren't being faithful with our givings, or maybe there was something we weren't doing right, we weren't at it because of the nature of our job. We were very busy, so when they put us in committees, we're not able to attend those meetings. Yes. So when we don't show up, we're made to feel guilty. Oh, this job, God gave it to you. Something might go wrong someday. So when there is a problem, automatically you're looking for...
Your mind is going to, what did I do wrong?
You're looking for those things you didn't do right,
Dear sir, let me not intending to digress, but I was in church when a young man sent a message to the pastor and said I had paid my first fruit, and this is 1 whole month salary, and I have to endure. Then in the next month, I lost my job. And he asked that it is 6 months down the line, I don't have any job, I have no savings, I don't have money. What do I do? When will I start reaping the fruits of my first fruit? And you know what the pastor responded? The pastor told him that this is not the time to give up. You should continue giving. Out of the little you don't have, continue giving. And told the story of the man who went digging for gold. And when he almost got to the gold, he gave up and left and sold the field. And the next people who bought it came, and the first few digging, they struck gold. So, and said, this, the devil is making it difficult for you. So you stop giving and lose your miracle. So continue to give, even when it's very difficult to give. So those were the teachings that we are getting in church.
Yeah. So for me, I was actually championing this giving thing. I was getting
so you are trying to cover for your husband that my husband has made a mess, so now God, as a good wife, let me compensate for you.
In fact, I wasn't happy with him. I thought he wasn't even giving enough. And I had to open financial accounts for my kids so that we can make up. I had to sign them up on different partnerships. So if he's not giving, if he likes, he shouldn't give. Me, I'm not going to allow us to go down. So I was giving mine. I'll give for my 2 kids.
Giving to where? To the church?
Yes.
Yes.
What does that have to do with it?
Because I just believe that the more I would give, the more I'm seeding my, financial account.
Yeah, you can give, but why don't you give to the poor, give to yourself, give to pay your debt?
No, in church, the pastors in Nigeria made it clear. They distinguish between almsgiving. They call it almsgiving. That there's a place for almsgiving. Yeah. But giving to God is what you give to the church.
Yeah.
So by playing down on that, if you talk about almsgiving, the Nigerian Christian will say, I know there's a place for it. It's not important. And they teach something called sowing on fertile ground. So the most fertile ground is when you sow into the life of the man of God.
Yeah. So this was our situation.
Yes.
And the whole thing was causing a lot of issues. And this thing, as simple as it sounds, was causing war in this place, because we had all those disagreements coupled with the issue that happened. I was
But what was the church? What was the church doing to help you?
That's your problem. No, you don't bring your problems to church.
The church position is either you don't have enough faith, or you haven't been faithful in your giving. The church is going to look for what you haven't done. The targets you haven't met, because of course those targets will never be met. I had put myself in a group in the church, then Christ Embassy, called the Haven. And this ministry, their work, they said they are the financial pillars of the church. And I purposely joined that group because I was made to believe that by being a financial pillar, God continue to elevate you by giving, by putting yourself in the place of giving to the man of God and to his causes. That is how much your life, will gain promotion. My husband didn't want to join. I joined. So, those were some of the, disagreements we're having. I felt that you're not cooperating with us in this problem. We were not doing as much as we should. So, those disagreements were there. And this was also affecting our relationship as couples, so many issues. Maybe you want to share a bit around that.
So for me as the husband, I had a problem with the way I perceived problems and issues. So when they come, it will really generate a lot of mental pressure on me, because I saw them as evil. I saw them as bad things that shouldn't happen to us. So they told us that when you're taking care of God's business, God will take care of your business. So when all these issues were happening, I was just wondering, is it that I'm falling out of the faith, or I was just looking for where I wasn't doing well? Maybe I wasn't confessing enough, so
positive confession.
Yeah. And with regards to our marriage too, at that time, my understanding of marriage was what we call the African man's, the typical Nigerian understanding of marriage. We actually put a lot of the responsibility on the woman. The woman is responsible for making the marriage stand or break. Yeah. So, No.
What do you mean the woman is responsible? What is she supposed to explain that to me, because I need to understand. What should the woman be doing? Why should she? What's her role?
Yeah, in African mentality, it is the woman. She's supposed to be submissive. She's supposed to support the husband, and even when the man is going wrong, she's the one that's supposed to actually, say I'm sorry. And
but what you are saying now is the opposite of what you said before. Because if she's supposed to be supporting the husband, that is a supportive role. Yeah, that is correct. But only supportive role, subordinate role. But why do you say she's the one that is responsible? Everything is on the woman.
Yeah, if things fail, that's because she's not a good woman. She didn't support enough. That's how we receive things. We just expected a lot from the woman. We expect her to make her own contributions, and a lot of times we even share, leave responsibilities for the woman. That's how the typical African mindset.
Okay, let's Chioma. Okay, Chioma, what is it that the woman? How does the woman responsible for the home? How?
Okay, I remember one time my husband was telling me things like his mom is the one that she was the one carrying the house spiritually, and he was expecting me to be like his mom. And we had that argument, and I was like, I'm sorry. I remember God told Abraham in the Bible that he made Abraham his friend because he knew that Abraham was going to be able to guide his family spiritually. That if your mom was doing stuff like that, then it means that maybe your father didn't take his place. So on his part as the husband, he expected a lot, from me. And sometimes, he may not be able, would I say maybe he forgets, because the way African men are actually being raised, our fathers didn't really pass so much to them. So sometimes the men are just, doing their own thing. They just believe that the house is supposed to be functioning automatically. And there is no place for stepping in and saying, okay, we need to do this, we need to taking the responsibility of the house. So what caused most of the friction then was that I was always the one, trying to get the house, organize things, and it always puts me under pressure. Like, I'm sorry, you're the man in this place. You should call these meetings. I'm the one calling these meetings. Let us plan it this way and all that. I was expecting them from him. He is expecting it from me because in his own understanding, this is what a woman, a Nigerian woman, is expected to do. And I think it's still based on those scriptures of a wise woman building her home. So the man is just supposed to be relaxing while the woman is doing all the building.
Yeah.
All the building here.
Just to buttress what she said, for the Nigerian man, you just marry your wife and she comes in and she puts everything in place order in the house.
Yeah.
So you come back to a very sparkling house. That's her job. If at all your own is to go and make the money and try to provide, and even most of the time you don't even provide enough. You wait for her to just expect her to do the magic and just get things done.
Wow.
That's the typical African.
So this is where you were when you met DSA.
Yes, all these issues were, in fact, I would say that we were parting ways already, because this thing was just growing, one thing. And when the issue with the debt came in, put us under so much pressure. In fact, the house just became uninhabitable. It was like everybody was walking on the edge. Yeah. And the side of the religion, God that we were looking up to wasn't working. What we were doing with God, it wasn't just working. We were thinking, okay, so as we keep sowing this, something is just going to happen, but it wasn't happening. So for me, I just got to a point where I told myself, I need to save myself. If he doesn't want to save himself, I better go and find my solution to these issues. And that was how I got myself together, went to a bookstore. I said, I'm going to start attacking my problem on these finances by myself. So I went to the bookstore in the neighborhood and I said, I'm going to pick all the books on finances that I can gather here today. This finance problem, I must quench it. I must end it for myself. So I got a lot of books. And just as I was about leaving the store, I saw your book, Money Will Make You Rich. And that book, I said, when I saw the title of the book, I was a bit offended. Like, I don't know what kind of title is this. I'm here looking for how to solve my money issue. And someone is writing, Money Will Make You Rich. Okay, I want to see what he has to say about this. So I took that book, I scanned through it, and I was reading a whole lot of stuff. So the man selling the book said, do you want to buy the book? I said, okay, I think I want to add it to the things I've bought. And I decided that I was going to read that book first. I bought a lot of books, Hagen books, Sam Adeyemi, so many titles. But I decided to start reading that book, Money Will Make You Rich. So that was how Pastor Sunday stepped into my home. And when I bought that book, I didn't want my husband to touch that book. I told him, don't just touch this book. You see this book until I'm through with this book. Don't come to it. He was curious. He was asking me, what is this book you're reading? What's inside the book? I said, don't worry. When I'm through, I will tell you the things I've found out. So when I finished reading that book, I read that book twice. And while I read that book, I began to see where my problems, all the issues. I began to, it was as if scales, were falling off my eyes. I began to see that the first problem I had was even my church. This was my first problem. All those things I was doing with them in church, all those groups I was involved in, all those things that those pastors were talking about, everything was all a lie, and that was the first thing I discovered, because these were actually some of the arguments, that we used to have in this house. My husband didn't quite agree with a lot of those things, but after reading that book, everything became clear to me. And he too read the book at some point. And after some months, I decided to reach out to Dr. Sunday. And you can't believe why I decided to write to Pastor Sunday. I think if you still have that mail, the reason, even after reading the book, I was not completely delivered from religion. I wrote you and I was asking you that I read this book, but I am not too clear on how you raised 200 millionaires in the church, because this book did not explain it. If you remember the mail I sent to you, I said, this is the reason I'm writing. I want you to show me or throw more light on this. And the reason was because I wanted that knowledge, because I was in the haven. I was in the ministry that their business was supporting the church. I wanted to use that knowledge to share with the members so that we can start meeting and exceeding our targets. So this was the reason I wrote, and I sent that mail to you. Then you replied, and everything started happening from that point. So that was how we got.
No, my
into
reply,
knowing that
I gave you certain instructions. You will go back to that later, eh?
Yes, you gave me some links to. You gave me the link to your blog, and you also gave me the link to Facebook Live. Now, when I went to your blog, I saw your messages, a lot of messages, and in my mind at that time, I just said, I'm not ready for this church business again. I'm not ready for this message. I've been hearing these things. This is not working. You know, I don't think I want to go back to those things anymore. I just want solution. And in my head, the only solution that was 200 millionaires. I can bust my target, you know, so that, you know, God would be happy with me. But I didn't do much on the blog, but I took the instruction to go on the Facebook Live. And that was how my deliverance started. So when I got to had the money, the family was money and didn't know me, they go back to the same time. So that's how we just got stuck in your back. Say something about that.
Yeah, okay. I remember when she got the book and read them, and she eventually asked me to read it. I looked at the book and I was like, what would a pastor say about money to me? All the while, all I know a pastor will tell me about is that I should bring my money, you know, God will bless me if I sow seed and all that. So, but when she insisted that I should read it, that, you know, this one is different. I read the book and I was like, I've never seen a pastor talking about money this way. I've never seen a pastor, you know, putting it that way, that telling you that you don't get rich by sowing seed, by giving money. It's actually the people at the apex of the churches that become rich when you do it that way. And explaining it. So it was really mind-blowing. I didn't know that a pastor can be dishonest. You know, so, and the next thing that happened, when she got the Facebook Live link, and we joined in for the first one, and wow, it was something else. It was something else. We are learning things that we had never heard before, and not to talk of, it was coming from a pastor. We're learning, you know, getting knowledge for every aspect of our life, not just on spiritual things, but, you know, every area of our life. First of all, we started the financial series.
Yes, we joined at the financial
Yes, so, and, you know, one of the first messages I listened to that really caught me was the message on poverty mindset versus abundance mindset. And I saw a pastor break it down and tell us the things that will not make us rich. You know, that, you know, it's not about how good you are that will make you rich. All the things I've known, I heard as truths growing up. Like, you work hard enough, if you're smart in school, you know, those are the things we are taught. And what I struggled, then all of a sudden someone came and broke all those things down and told us that, you know, that the steps to learning to become financially successful is by learning the laws of money. You know, and by understanding the laws of money and applying them, that's actually how you become, you know, and we saw these things. And, you know, at that time, I was also reading some other materials around money and financial success. And I saw that it was actually in line. You know, all these millionaires, all these guys who have already become, they were actually saying the same thing. They needed to understand the laws of money. So
it was mind-blowing for me. It was really mind-blowing. And what we started doing was, at the time, Dsa'S was doing morning and evening live Facebook live messages, and we immersed ourselves into those meetings. We're not meeting them. When we meet out the ones in the morning, maybe because of we are on our way to work, when we get to work or afterwards, we go and listen to catch up. Then we make sure we are the ones at night. We did that for like over a year. And we're just
that Facebook live was more important to us than food.
Yes.
Was more our internet. Then our bills on the internet, the roads we didn't mind. We would rather reduce our budget on food just to make sure that we go on the live broadcast, with Pastor Sunday, and we really learned a lot. Then we learned on why we're here on planet Earth, prayer series and faith series. We started using these teachings, to rearrange our mindset, the things, correcting the errors, because we don't realize that our lives, we're building our lives on the wrong foundation. Every single thing that we believed was true was all a lie. We have to start, rebuilding our lives again, taking the messages to work on ourselves, on our relationship. And I think shortly after that, Pastor Nas did the family series. In fact, that was, I think Pastor Nas came on air for us. He just did the magic. Then all those disagreements we were having, Pastor took the family series for 2 months. 2 months, he took it for 2 months, 2.5 months. He took his time. After the family series.
I just want to ask you the family series. I was talking about how the Nigerian man perceives the marriage. So one of the big problems, and this is, I'm addressing the audience as well. Men don't understand how women think, how they are. They build, their physiological build. So the man sees a woman as another man.
Yes.
Who is not behaving well. You get that? So you perceive the woman as another man who is not behaving well. There's a problem with this man. That's the perception. And I think also vice versa. The woman doesn't really understand how the man thinks. We don't understand our differences. So in that family series, when Dsa'S started talking about the difference between men and women, wow. The things about the heart, the thyroid gland, how, the woman perceives things. So when you look at something, what you see is different. What the man sees is different from what the woman sees. But, nobody has ever taught us that. Nobody told us that. You had illustrations that showed us, when you say, let's go out now, let's go and eat out. The man just thinks of wearing his shirt, wearing his trouser, getting the car key, and putting money in his pocket. And that's not what the woman is thinking about. She's thinking about a lot more of other things. So what that did to us was that, to me rather, was that I had a better understanding of my wife. So when she did some of the things she did, I understood why she was doing those things, and I was able to make accommodate a lot more things. When you spoke about the role of a man, I saw that, wow, even myself that thought I was a saint, I was falling short. I learned the role of a man, that a man is the foundation of the home. A man is responsible for charting the direction of your home, and before, those were what my wife, I expected her to do. I wasn't on the driving seat. I wasn't the one who was saying, okay, who will stay in the next year, in the next 4 years, and all that. I left it for the woman. So I had to quickly wake up to those responsibilities, and understand that this is my calling. So when there are problems, I don't run away from it. Before, sometimes you actually intentionally hide from it and expect that she let her solve it. And this is the mindset of a lot of African men. So, right now, when things happen, I have to stand up and take my place and role as the man.
Yes. A lot of things actually changed after those series. He's a. I will call him maybe 90%. 90% right now, because we're still work in progress. A lot of things have actually improved in our relationship, the way we're handling the children.
Yes.
I don't know, people on this platform, you can't, what Pastor Sunday is doing, the teachings and the messages of Pastor Sunday, I've not seen any human being. I've lived more than 30 years in this world, I'm still looking for that human being that can do what Pastor Sunday has done. Done all this research on our behalf and put it out there on YouTube for free. I don't think that anybody else can repeat what Pastor Sunday has done. Maybe the people that are following him now, who are beginning to, see this example, may do this for the future generation. But I don't think we're going to ever find this in our lifetime, because what Pastor Sunday has done, I don't think any man has done it before. So Pastor Sunday, we're still thanking you again for what you are doing. And we're still pleading, for those that do not know what they are doing, like those people on the cross, then forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. Because the messages of Pastor Sunday has healed a lot of people, has, healed homes and saved a lot of people from disaster, and things that they didn't even know where to find the answers from. And this is why we said we have to make this video, because in recent times, a lot of people have been saying all sorts of things, and we know that these people are actually not properly informed. They are working in error. I believe with time, they will come to realize that truly Pastor has, done a lot for them, and they need to really appreciate him. So this teaches.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the impact of the teachings on our lives, one of the things I had is there was clarity on life. I learned that life was predictable. So before now, we're just coasting in life, just the wind was just carrying us. Now I understood why I was where we were. You get, and we understood what we needed to get to where we want to go. There was a lot of clarity. In terms of religion, how I perceive problem changed. Because before, when issues come up, I'll be under a lot of emotional and mental stress that this problem, why these problems come. But now, after listening to the problem series, where Dsa'S is saying, I'm looking for problems.
Hello, I'm looking for problems.
Now, when the problems come, I get ready to solve them, and after I solve them, I say on to the next one.
But you were talking about the family, how the teachings really influence your family. I just wrote it, so it's a right time to release this new book. Am I ready to be a husband?
Okay.
Yes, the best time.
Am I ready to be a husband?
Wow, that's great.
All the men in Nigeria must buy that book right now. All the men need to read that book, honestly.
But the problem is that the only man that has read it now is Dr. Anu, and he said he thought he was ready before. He was a champion, but when he read the book, he said he has thrown away the idea of getting married right now. So that's the problem. If they read it, they are going to all cancel marriage or postpone marriage.
They should cancel marriage. Anybody I'm talking to, I tell them to cancel marriage from your life. Go and look for your husband. Anybody who knows that is my position.
Yeah.
Seriously, because if you marry at the wrong time, there is a wrong time and there is a right time to get married. The right time is when you have understood your calling. And not just understanding that calling, you're already working on that path. Because, I mean, God is not an author of confusion. If you need to get married, he's going to give you the person, the partner that you need for your calling. A lot of the issues we have today in marriages is simply because people did not understand their calling and they got involved with that man. And along the line, they begin to discover themselves and they start fighting with their partners. This is the problem a lot of people are having today. And if you're my friend, everyone who knows me knows I'm the one that cancels marriage. If you come to me and tell me just cancel.
Yeah, but now there is, because this book, Am I Ready to Become a Husband? You have to become first before you look for a wife.
Yes.
Yes.
So there is a
something-
becoming, the process, the preparation. You have to become before you begin to look at a woman.
Thank you. That is the truth, Pastor.
And the sad thing is that most young men around here have not become husbands first. They are not prepared, and it's all around the teachings. We have here. Culture just says once you get a job, the next thing is to go and look for a woman to marry.
Destruction. Destruction.
They tell you don't bother about your finances. That is God who trains children. It's God that raises children. So there are a lot of young couples who are under serious pressure.
Yes.
From financial pressure, from maturity pressure. And so now whenever young couples come and tell me, my friends tell me I'm getting married, I'm no longer happy. I used to be happy before, but I'm no longer happy. Because I'm just seeing some disaster going to happen. And, the perception, because I was engaging some older people and they said that marriage is like a mystery. So it's like a package that is closed. When you open it, whatever you see, you take. Whether it's bad or good, you just take it. So it's even in a proverb. There's an Igbo proverb.
Yeah.
That says, like if I say it in Igbo, marriage ungugu. Anything you open, anything you see, is you take it.
Once you open it, whatever you find there, just take it that way.
So that's how we live in Africa.
Yeah.
But I realized that there is a place for preparation.
Yeah.
There is a place for becoming. And when you do that preparation, marriage will actually be more like heaven on earth for you.
True.
Because we have the other one first. Am I ready to become a wife? Now this is, am I ready to become a husband? Nobody can complain now.
Yes, everyone who is planning to get married is, if it's part of your dream, I think you just
am I
need
ready to
go
become
and
a
get
wife? The husband.
You need to go and get those books and also go and listen to all the messages on the family series. It was in one of the series that Pastor talked about the need for, even when couples marry, it is not a time to quickly go and start having children. In fact, if you think that once you marry, children is the next thing, you're finished. I mean, you're calling, you're just procrastinating. What you're going to do is you're going to spend your whole life just running around children. Not to say that children is bad, but you need to prepare, because when the children come, your bills increase. We even experienced it when we had our first son. The bill of my first, just to take care of him, was more than our bill together. Our feeding money, the money we were feeding on when we didn't have him. When he came, his own bill was already more than that. And this was 7 years ago. So I don't know. People that are planning to get married, I mean, the best thing you can do to yourself is just to go and listen to those series. But what I realized is that a lot of people don't believe this thing. People prefer to learn from experience. Well, if experience is what you love, I don't love experience. I want to learn from those that have gone that path, and that is what mentoring is all about. And I think Pastor Sunday has gone through some of these experiences for us, written all these books, taught all these messages, put them out there on YouTube for us. I don't see why anyone should not go there and enjoy this thing and stop messing themselves up. For those that are talking, saying all those funny things on Facebook.
And even for people who are married already, people who are married already still need to read this book, How to Become a Husband. Am I ready to become a husband and a wife? Because they still need to put those principles inside themselves.
Yes.
Because it really did the magic for us. It solved all the issues. I will tell you that I don't think I have any issues, marital issues right now, because that we have understanding. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody's playing their role. Of course, disagreements. We're human. We have disagreements, but it's not the one that. Not like before, when there was tension. When there was tension, most of the time. So right now, we're just coasting, and that is thanks to the family series of Pastor Sunday, because it just did that work for us. So I'm promoting those series. Anyone who wants to enjoy their be happily married, go and listen to all those series on the family series and start applying them. Not just listen, but apply them.
Okay. I want to talk a bit on the area of finance. So from DSS teachings, we learned on how to make some adjustments to our life. We learned that we needed to live below our means. In Nigeria, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. People are under pressure. Where I work, after your second or third year, everybody just buys a car, and we buy it on credit.
Yeah.
And you start paying, and it's you just have to live up to the standards of what other people. So there was a time we had a small house where we're living. We were thinking of moving to a bigger place, just because we felt we should move to a bigger place.
Yeah.
Why?
But after listening to those financial series, we didn't see why. Why do we need a big house? Is it just to meet up with the expectations of people? We don't need that house. We don't need to increase those expenses.
I've been wondering what got into our head that to even make us think that way in the first place.
Mountain of ignorance. Mountain of ignorance. We're just sitting on that mountain.
Then another area is, the whole demand to attend religious activities, on Sunday. For many Nigerians, Sunday is just cancelled out of your day, because they will go to church on Sunday. After Sunday service, there will be meetings, and before they get home, some have to go back in the evening, they are workers and all that. So Friday is night vigil. So people go for night vigil from work, and when they come back in the morning on Saturday, they already spent, and they sleep half of the day, and so there are a lot of hours that go in there doing achieving nothing. For the pastor sees their target, measures their success by how many hours they keep members in the church premise or in the compound or with activities. Doing something, just generating one program or the other. People go for night vigil and they don't even have problems they are praying about. They just go. So those hours are actually hours that we can actually convert. So this is actually how we were losing money.
And losing time.
Losing time.
So your time and conversion series, opened our eyes to how we're wasting our life, our time. Those series, I don't know, this is the reason we're making this video, so that
so now you are talking about YouTube series.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, explain to them how to get the YouTube series and all that, and where the series are.
Yes, well, we're actually getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
So the time and conversion opened our eyes to how we're wasting our time and our lives, and we have been able to get our time back. Because since we started the Facebook Live, Pastor, we don't go to any of those places anymore. This is 3 years now. In fact, when we see people going to those places on Sunday, we feel so sorry for them, because we just see people are wasting away. The time they would have used to put some value into themselves. They are just going to these places where they are being taught the things that are enslaving them the more. When you move around, we live in Lagos, you see that people's faces are so hard, tight, you can practically see suffering. on the faces of people, even the people that have money, people you think that these ones are rich. People's faces are all tight. You see this suffering on their faces. And this is because these churches they're going to, they don't have solution for them.
Yeah.
But people just keep going to these places. Instead of using that time, sitting down to put, value, people that are doing business, the time they would have used to analyze their businesses, they just, on Thursdays, what happens, like in Lagos on Thursday, there is this, what they call sanitation, that goes on between the hours of 8 to 10 or something like that. 8 to
10, yes.
Pastor, do you know what happens now in between those hours? Yeah. Instead of people observing the sanitation, the churches have opened their doors.
In markets, in shops, in stores.
Open their doors to start meetings. So people just end up driving from their homes and they park in churches up till 10 o'clock.
Yes.
These are times that they would have used to reflect on their lives, reflect on different things. So we just see this institution in Nigeria, they call church, this business franchise, killing people, taking their time and their lives. You wanted to add to
just talk, and this is to address the audience.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that we just decided to stop attending church. I was a worker in church. So but the moment we started listening to DSA and we started learning all these things, I'll be in church as a worker. And when I listen to the message that the pastor is preaching, it'd be like a little child saying A, B, C, D, A, F, and to an adult, to a professor. And say, repeat after me, A, B. So it's I couldn't just cope. You see, somebody telling you, if you want to be successful, you have to sow seed, and you already know that those things are not true. So at some point, it wasn't easy even stopping leaving church. I'll be in church working. While the message is going on, I'll have DSS message in my ears, in my earphone listening because I didn't want to stop. But at the time, I have to tell myself the truth. What are you doing here? Why are you wasting your time here? And then just wake up and stop this thing. So that was how we stopped, and we now started focusing on building ourselves with the messages. And you know what it did for us? One, resources that we used to spend and give to these people, we're able to save them. That's one. Then it was as if we recovered 52 days out of a year for ourselves that we can actually convert. So we became more effective than the average people around us. We started seeing how our life can actually be put on track. So this is actually, there's just so much we learned with regards to time conversion. I was a football fan. I am an Arsenal fan. I'll spend my time watching football matches. But right now, when I look at 90 minutes and what I can achieve in 90 minutes, I no longer watch football matches. What I do is I go to get the highlights to know who scores, who won. If at all I would have to watch a match, then I'll have to have a book I'll be reading at the same time to make sure that I recover some bit of the time within that period. And you know how this is, people watch movies. Recently, as in some days ago, they released what's the movie? Game of Thrones. And people everywhere were saying, have you watched this one series and all that? People are going to sit down for hours watching movies. So it's a problem that's why we want people to actually go and listen to all these messages. So
the family series also helped us to understand what to do with our children.
Yes.
Yes, we had those children because society expects that once you marry, the next thing for you to do is to have kids, which we fell for that. By 6 months, they were already calling him as the baby on the way, is the baby on the way, is the baby on the way. So we've gotten those children, and a lot of people get into this trap they don't even prepare. We're not taught that before you start having children, you need to prepare yourself emotionally, financially, psychologically. In fact, I ran into problems personally when I had after I had my first child into my second child. You know, when I was stressed. I was still in the bank, you know, battling, having to wake up and get to work early, come back late and all. Shortly after that, I discovered I was pregnant with a second baby. I got into depression. I was depressed for 6 months. It wasn't fun. You know, nobody talks to you about these things. These things, even women don't share it, you know, amongst themselves. But these are real issues. For the first time in my life was when I discovered through Pastor Sunday's family series that your marriage does not qualify you to start having babies. You're not just here to start dropping children. You need to prepare for these children. At the time I had those children, I was not emotionally ready for them. You know, and of course that became some pressures. But also in those series, he taught us how to create core values. Because to be frank, we had children, but we didn't know what to do with them. We just had children. We were happy. Oh, we have children now. But we just didn't know what to do with those children. Yeah, we were going to have to raise them just the same way we were raised, take them to church, teach them Bible passages and all those things that we were taught. But when we listened to those series, we saw that parenting is for PhD. It's a totally different ball game. It's not a game. If you don't understand what to do with those children can even destroy you in future, because if you don't put the right values in those children, if you don't discipline yourself to put the right values in them, those children are going to give you heart failure when they grow up, you know, and God is not going to do anything about it. You know, we thought that in fact, it's even a proverb in Nigeria that it's God that trains children, you know, and we believed all those things, but we realized that those things are not true, you know, from the teachings of Pastor Sunday.
Yeah, so because with regards to the children, we felt children just turn out the way they want to turn out. You do your own part. That was what we are taught. That you do your own part, do your best, and if they turn out well, good. If they don't turn out well, right. And there was this thing that they said that the devil was attacking the children of men of God, people who loved God, and that's why some of God's children some men of God's children were turning out wayward.
Yeah.
So, but after listening to DSA, we learned that we needed to build core values in our children, and we saw not just the teaching, we saw it demonstrated by you and how some of your kids have turned out. So we are now applying the same thing in raising our children. You know, after a message we saw Professor Chris Imafidon come around and talk about how to raise kids and how he was able to, you know, get his children to write GCE at the age of 6 and have 3 A's to achieve such a global feat. So we pulled our children out of school, out of the school they were attending, and we started homeschooling them.
Yeah.
You know, and we got teachers to come to the house to train them. So today they are already doing things like coding. You know, they are learning computer and learning things around financial literacy. And when we look at them today, they are a lot way advanced than the average kid around.
Yeah, because we have a different focus for them. You know, through the same teachings, we saw the children that would start going back to Uncle Sam's system, being enslaved by the world system and all that. These are children now, we're seeing them as people that will take up the problems in their environment, because even though they are young, we keep challenging their minds with questions like, what problems do you see yourself solving? Like our first son now, sometimes when they take class, they say, oh God, why did they take class? I said, that is something we start thinking about, you know. There is no school around us. There is no school in this vicinity that is challenging the children. So we had to pull them out, and we developed a curriculum for them with your teachings and the other teachings online and resources that, you know, we giving them a holistic training so that they are going to start, fighting the devil big time when they grow.
Yeah. So how to make the most out of DS's messages and teachings? Like we said, we've seen people who just come in, at the sensational point, and they hear one message.
Please tell us whenever you need the slides. We can show them if you want.
Okay. So they just come in and just start from there and start, because when you listen to DSA, you start having a lot of ideas, and you want to just start, running immediately. Yeah. So and that happened to us, when we started, we had ideas and we started doing some projects because of one of the things that we are really passionate about. We started working with young people. We gathered young people in our vicinity and we started training them. We got them together. We started the training program for the young people. We get them, engage them, and we started teaching them about purpose. And one thing we discovered was that for most of the young people, nobody has taught them about purpose. A lot of them don't even know what they will become in the future. Yeah. They are just so blind. If you ask them, they say they want to be musicians, they want to be movie stars, what they see on TV. And there was no direction whatsoever. So we started that project on how to guide young people. But of course, at some point, we had to stop. And why we had to stop was because, from what we started learning, we started learning.
They can put up the pictures.
Yeah, they can put up pictures now.
Pictures.
Yes.
Photographs and stuff.
We learned that. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, we have the pictures now.
So we learned that we needed to put systems in place. Yeah, we need to put systems in place. So because we just hit the ground running.
We learned from listening to DSA, we learned that 75% of the job has to be done on paper first before you even start out.
And we didn't have 75%. We just had emotions. We just had ideas, I know that once, if you're truly following the teachings of Pastor Sunday, you're going to come out with millions of ideas. We have ideas every day when we read your books, when we listen to the messages. And I know a lot of people on this platform have those beautiful ideas. But the first thing to do, before we get on those, the first thing to do when you have those ideas is to sit down and go and do your research. Go and do a proper study of this idea. I will also refer us to the HMC series we had on life goals, how to make your 25 years goal. Pastor Sunday, I will still thank you once again for making that video free of charge on YouTube, because nobody has ever done that before. So you need to adhere to the teaching and your calling. You need to align those ideas, those dreams with your global life purpose. Because if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself possibly getting confused or getting busy, just being busy, And one of the best messages that you gave to us also was this system. In fact, this is the best of the best. Anyone who has not, taking time, because that one we listen to is just step one. If you want to get anything from Pastor Sunday's teaching, you need to go and listen to that thing 100 times. 100 times is the minimum. Because every time you listen to those things, I discovered something from Pastor's messages. Almost every sentence has it means something. Sometimes we can be carried away by emotions. Oh, he said it, you get so excited. But I noticed that Pastor Sunday is a very intentional person. Every sentence, every paragraph in his book, he's trying to say something. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it. So don't think that when you have read Who Am I Once, you have gotten the message. Oh, now I'm called into youth empowerment. You run off. Oh, youth, where are you? You're going to have issues. So we learned that when you get those ideas, sit yourself down, do your proper research before you, and put your 75% down on paper before you start execution. And that was what happened to us, when we started some of the projects that we had in mind.
One of the projects we started was after we started homeschooling our kids, we saw what the progress they were making, and we wanted to share that with some other kids. So we made it open for other children to come around. And for the period, it was really a nice time. We were teaching them things like financial literacy. We were also teaching them from the teachings of messages of DSA. We are breaking it down to their level so they could understand it. So we taught them core values. We called it character building. We taught them robotics, basics of robotics, and also computing and programming, coding as they call it. So it was a very nice time. There are some images that of those sessions that we have.
Yes, we are watching. We are looking at them now.
Yes, and we saw that even children as little as 3 can actually start grasping those things. And this is what our educational system is not doing in Nigeria. The educational system is largely theoretical. People, where it's as if we are preparing people for the past. We are preparing students for the past. And where, the world is already moving into the future. They said that the future jobs, that our children would have, we don't even know about them because there will be new jobs that will come out. So, but in Nigeria, the educational institutions are not preparing these children for these things. They are still teaching them what we learned in the past. I was shocked, to the marrow this week when I learned that a university, a high institution, a tertiary institution in Nigeria, Yaba Technology, was still teaching students shorthand.
Wow.
And typewriter, teaching them to type with typewriter.
In the computer age.
I was just shocked at where these people are. They not in this world? It's in the course, they're doing it under the course called secretarial studies. Right now, most corporate organizations don't even have secretaries anymore. Because with the computer, a lot of the roles of secretaries have become obsolete. So we felt, and this is still a passion we have, that we need to transform and revolutionize education in Nigeria. We started it out, but just like she said, we had not put our 75% down. So it was more like a beta run. We've paused that for now, but we'll come back to it. So
going back to how to make the most of pastors' teachings, for people that are joining and new people coming on the platform, on the YouTube series, once you get to the home, Sunday Adelaja official, go to the home.
Let me. For you to get the best of this, you have to first of all go to YouTube. So you go to www.youtube.com. That takes you to YouTube. Then you go to the search bar and type Sunday Adelaja Official. Sunday Adelaja Official. That will take you to Sunday Adelaja's channel, YouTube channel. So you click on Home. So you can continue from there.
Yes, so you click on Home. Once you click on Home, you will see that the teachings have been arranged in the order, how serially in playlists. So, but we are proposing a recommendation for people, especially a lot of people that are coming now on the platform from, we have seen. So we think that if you're just joining, the first series you need to go to are series like Why Are You Here? Why Planet Earth?
Do you have it in your slide?
No, we didn't put it on the slide.
Okay, whenever you are ready for the slide, let us know.
What slide?
They can put it. They can put the YouTube channel now.
Okay, just go ahead and continue because you sent us something. So the thing you sent us, we made them into slide. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. No, this breakdown, we didn't put it on the slide.
Okay.
Yes, so you need to go to series like Why Are You Here? Why Planet Earth?
Okay.
Calling series, very important. That's series number 8.
So you start with series number 4.
Yeah, Why Are You Here? Why Planet Earth?
Is that number 4 or number 2?
That's series number.
I think I didn't put that.
Okay.
That should be series number 2. Why Are You Here? Why Planet Earth?
Okay.
Then calling series is series number 8.
So after Why Are You Here? Why Planet Earth? You go to Collins and Purpose series.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you go to Kingdom series.
So the number 3 will be Kingdom series.
Yes, but Kingdom series is series 5 in your Sunday Adelaja official.
Okay.
Then from there, move on to Church series.
Okay.
Move on to Faith series. That's series number 10. This series, the reason we arrange it this way is because in listening to this series, you're going to be able to get the foundation, because we're coming from, especially if you're living in Nigeria, you just need to do this for yourself to be able to really appreciate the materials on Pastor Sunday YouTube platform. So church series, faith series, prayer series, because what the church is teaching us about prayer is not prayer that we are doing. No, that one I don't know what we're doing, but those things we're doing, we're just exercising, wasting our energy. Those things are not prayer. So when you listen to the prayer series, you'll be able to appreciate and understand what you need to pray about, why you need to pray. What are those things that you need to even bring to God? Love series is yet another one that you need to pay attention to. That's series number 1. Problem series, very important for a Nigerian person, because in this part of the world, we think that every problem is caused by Satan, even the ones we created, because the ones that we had from our experience, we created the problem. Devil had nothing doing there. We created it because we were ignorant. We didn't know the laws governing some of these things, and we just, found ourselves in the ditch. So problem series number 11, we recommend that, you also need to go and listen to those series. Then, of course, time and conversion series. That one will help you to understand why you are giving 24 hours. We're not just giving 24 hours because God was idle. He just wanted to slot hours into the day. You understand what to do with your time in this world. So we call this step 1. To take, to maximize Pastor Sunday's teachings. When you've gone over all these series, then you can now start going into topics like plague of silence, truth series, issues around tithe, paganism.
What before paganism? Which one?
Truth series. The truth series.
Truth series.
Okay.
Truth.
After truth series, paganism, right?
Paganism, yes.
Okay.
Syncretism series.
Syncretism.
Brainwashing.
Syncretism, yes. After paganism.
Yes. Then abuse and recovery. Then you can, when you have done these ones, by the time you're through with this series that we have listed, you would know yourself that something has happened to you. You would be able to understand where you're coming from, where you're even now moving to, which direction to take. You would begin to, navigate. Then you can now start, because there's so many materials on Pastor Sunday's platform, on the YouTube series, over 7,000 videos. But if you can go and sit down and take advantage of these ones, not just listen to them once, but listen to them till they become part, till you've really understood what he's saying in those teachings and you have started applying those things in your life. Then you can start doing other personal things like the financial series and all those other series that you may be interested in. But this series, as we have grouped them, maybe we can send the slides later so you can share, is how you can enjoy or make the most of Pastor Sunday's messages, because this series, as we have listed them, these are the core problems of the average Nigerian. You know, if you don't deal with those things, I'm sorry, you will not be able to understand what Pastor Sunday is all about. You won't be able to understand him. You're going to have issues. Yes, you will come, you get excited if he's going to teach on a topic that resonates with you. But with time, you will find out that you will start having other problems. But if you go and take your time and go through this series, as we have grouped them, the group 1 and this one, I don't think that you will be confused anymore. So by the time you're through with these ones, you will start seeing, you are on your own, will start seeing your own projects. You will start, coming up with your own ideas of the things you want to do, and things, you just take it up from there. We are work in progress.
Yeah.
We have not been, in fact, the more we listen to these teachings, the more we realize how much we don't know. And we keep asking ourselves that what have we done with our lives? What have we just done? And we just know that we don't have any other choice but to take this message and take it, impose it on the generation that is behind us, which is the youth, because we cannot afford to see the young people come to our level or our age and start discovering some of these errors, because it is disastrous for our nation. We just can't continue like this. Yeah, you wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say the difference between DSA's teachings and materials and motivational speaking, what we get from the motivational speakers, is that for the motivational speakers, they just tell you, get you high, and they don't tell you how you have to achieve the things. They tell you, you have to think positive, speak positive, do all that. But nobody tells you how to actually achieve those things. But when you listen to DSA's messages, first of all, you even discover why your purpose for living in the purpose series. You discover your calling and discover why you're here in the first place. Because if you're in the wrong place and making a lot of efforts, you end up wasting your life. So, and that teaching on purpose, calling, was something that nobody has ever taught us. As you don't hear it in any Nigerian church. You hardly ever hear any pastor teaching. If at all they talk about calling and purpose, is that you should come and be in church, be in the choir, or be in ushering or drama ministry, or and all that. That's what they teach about calling and purpose. But when we realize that we are not here by mistake, that God called us for specific purpose, and we needed to discover that and start fulfilling our purpose. So that gave us clarity on what we're doing. And the fact that you discover your purpose does not mean that you now achieve your purpose. You need to be equipped with the tools to achieve your purpose, and that's where time conversion came in. So we realized that through time you can actually build your network. Through time you can actually convert time to become anything you want to become. It blew my mind. I said, for any young person, and with the kids that we started mentoring some kids, we've experimented that with them. Once we teach them the time series and time conversion, and their life just transforms. It's just like magic. Once they get to understand the essence of time, that time is an opportunity, their life is an opportunity, and they start converting more time, their success rate just doubles and triples, and they're able to achieve more products, produce more things than they used to, because the average Nigerian person's life is typically more of spending time and wasting time, and very little of time conversion. But by focusing more on converting much of their time, they're able to achieve, what other people are achieving, 1 year, they do that in months. So we change some things, and we are telling the viewer, your audience, that there's a lot you can actually do by going back to these messages and immersing yourself. It will transform your life. You begin to see things from a new perspective. All of a sudden, you just have so much clarity. It's as if you're underwater. Now you can now start seeing everything. You can see clearly. You know, this has really transformed our lives, and and that's why we are passionate about making sure that everybody in Nigeria gets to listen to this thing.
Yes, and not just the messages, pastors' books. Recently, there has been a lot of drama on these books, and I get amused when I see these things, because people don't even know the people that are calling for these materials. Pastors of ministries, you know, yeah, they may not come out openly to talk about the impact of these things. People are hungry for this message that pastor is releasing, and people say pastor is making, they don't even know that Pastor Sunday does not make anything from this book. I don't know if anyone, you see, pastor's messages and his books, I don't know why anyone should not take advantage of these things, because nobody, I'm still looking for that man on this planet that has made this information available to their generation. I don't know. I'm still looking for that man. If you know and you're watching this video today, please type the name of that man that you think has done the extent of research, has put in the amount of that Pastor Sunday has put into the books that he's releasing and writing on a monthly basis. So if you don't want to read these books, it is your loss. The people that are reading it are getting transformed. They are seeing more. They are stepping into their kingdom work. Yeah. So you are the one losing out. It is not by force, really. But one thing that we want you to know, viewers, both those that have problem with the books and those that love the books, is that these books is the solution in our country. We live in Nigeria. We are not going anywhere. We wanted to run away to Canada, but these books is what has changed our minds. When we read the problem, Your Shortcut to Prominence, we saw that there is no point. Why do I want to go to Canada where they have solved all their problems? When I'm living right in the place where these problems are yet to be fixed, what should I go there to do? To go and be enslaved once again? So I don't know who has written this kind of books in my lifetime. So for you out there, if you're not reading Pastor Sunday's books, sorry for you. You're just the one who is losing. But I want you to know that Nigeria will yet read these books. More and more people will yet take advantage of these books. I'm looking forward to a time in this country when these books will be part of the books that the students are reading. Because when I read materials that people are reading, I can't find the content. I don't know what more, what other building blocks that people should use to build their lives apart from these materials. So for me, it's my personal mandate. If you're interested and passionate about moving these books to every city, every part of this nation, that is what we're going to do.
Can we show your telephone?
Yeah, go ahead. Show the telephone details.
Because you are the distributor in Nigeria.
Yeah, if you want to distribute these books in any part of Nigeria, any part of Africa, we must use these books to change the value system of our country, because I don't think there is any other solution to that apart from these materials. We just have to do that work. So if you want to join in this movement, because there is a movement around Pastor Sunday's books, and nothing is going to stop it. So if you're interested, come on board. Let us know. Bring your ideas on. Let's know what to do. Let's know what you want to do, and we can work together on this.
Yeah, I want to say, for a church like Christ Embassy, their Rhapsody of Reality online is not even free for their members. They have to buy it.
And of course, you know, those ones you can't even get much, as in it's nothing compared to what you get on DSA's platform and teachings and messages. You know, all these things are out there for free, and we are calling on everybody to, you know, go and bless yourself with all these materials.
Yeah.
We're thinking about something. Anybody who has access to anybody in power in Nigeria, anybody holding political office, you know, we have a lot of ideas on how we can, you know, get those books and get them to legislate these books to be read in schools. You know, we have plans of doing bookathons where students and young people can actually come and read these books.
Yeah, and do competition. So there's a lot.
On the books,
while some are there talking down on the books, a lot is happening. They've not seen anything yet. These books, Nigeria will read these books.
We're looking at how these books can be translated into children's books.
Yeah.
You know, because for what we're doing with our kids, we have to get a lot of books and ensure that they read at least 1 to 2 books every day. You know, and we saw those books. Some of them actually don't have
nothing, no content
messages. But you know, we saw that we can actually get DSS messages, DSS books, and put them in that level where kids, early readers, you know, to toddlers can actually read and start imbibing these core values and start teaching them. This is what the LGBT people are already doing. They understand this system, the LGBT who are, you know, corrupting our kids and teaching them the wrong things. So we can actually use those systems to actually empower our children and bless our generation. So we're open to ideas from everybody around these books.
Yeah.
Do you have some stories, some testimonies of people the kind of people who call for the books or who read the books? Or
a lot of testimonies, Pastor, and it will surprise you that a lot of pastors read your books. A lot of pastors in some of these ministries, but what their challenge, why some of them have not come openly on the platform, is because they are still working under these ministries, and these ministries are paying their salaries. So through these materials, they are trying to see how they can work themselves out of these things. A lot of pastors read your books. A lot of ordinary people read your books. There's a young man that spoke with me to me yesterday. I'm not going to call his name because he said he's not yet ready for Pastor Sunday, but that he wants his testimonies to be so full, you know. So there are so many people that these books are impacting. He is already having ideas after the system teaching you gave. He's already having ideas of starting a rehabilitation center in Port Harcourt because of these books, and they are waiting for the books on systems, you know. So these are some testimonies. People's lives are changing. People are stepping into their calling through these messages. So you, Pastor, you're going to continue writing. You know, the time we had the discussion on this, we said you have target of 1,000 books. You're not stopping. We will get there, because these books, many years after you're out of this place, these books they are going to be used to fortify our nation and the whole continent of Africa. There's a lot that these books are doing already, even as the book is not even on the media, you know, not to talk of when this book goes on air or on TVs or on radios. I tell you, Nigerians will read this book. So I don't know what problems people are having. I think that they have not really taken time to sit down. Those ones that are, you know, saying those things, if they sit down and read these materials, they themselves will testify that something has happened to them if they are being truthful to themselves. Because there is no topic of Pastor Sunday that you read that you will not immediately see how to start applying those teachings in your life. You know, the question will not be the question of to what degree you want to apply, but You can't tell me that you listen to something, be it a message or be it is material, that you won't start seeing results. We've seen young men that were mentoring people that are not even properly, educated. They read these materials and they start, changing their language. Their language start changing. The way they are talking start changing. They start seeing opportunities. So there is a lot of potentials in Pastor Sunday's materials, and there is no stopping. Like he said, a lot of people sometimes they say, I want books for my children. So we're even already seeing opportunities in the books for the children. So there's just a lot that is yet to be done around these books, and it's going to happen. That this book will be the book that Nigeria will be announcing. Presidents of nations will be calling for them and say, we want these books in our country because we can see what it's doing in Nigeria. So that is my announcement to everyone listening today.
So before you can start transforming anything, first of all, you need to go back to DSA materials, go to the videos and listen to at least 300 to 400 messages.
Yeah.
That's if you don't do that, what will happen is that you burn out. Emotions is not enough to carry you because it's a marathon race. The sensational thing. You just listen to one message, then now start a video and start criticizing pastors, Nigerian pastors, and all that. So when people come out of that and ask you, okay, so we've come out of it, what next? You won't know what to tell them. You won't have a solution for them. So you need to go back and immerse yourself in these messages. And that's how you can actually make the best out of DSA's teachings.
Right now, I've started. By the way, I've spoken to Pastor Natalia. She said she's going to begin to. She told you already?
No, not yet.
Okay. So she's going to send you the latest book soon. They are still with the publishers.
Yes. So
now I'm doing a program. The series I'm doing right now is on redemption, salvation, and being born again.
Okay.
That's the one I'm doing. After this one, we are going to do that. I think Nigeria also will need that because I think the understanding of redemption and salvation is warped in Nigeria.
Yes, it is. It is just a very few ministries emphasize on it.
Yeah. Well, so that is it. Our time is up. But is there anything you would like to say before we go to our listeners?
No, we can take the calls now.
Okay, let's see. Do we have? I've not even announced yet. Do we have callers? Yes, we have callers. So anybody that wants to call into the program, please go to Facebook Messenger. And when you get there to Facebook Messenger, look for Move Agents. Move Agents. And when you get to Move Agents, just drop us a line and write us a text that you would like to call or you would like to contribute. Because the Nwigwes have spoken so many points, so many salient points about marriage, about children, about all my teaching, and they have given you the steps to take, which ones to listen to first. And I didn't even, know that particular arrangement, but they are based in Nigeria. So they know what the Nigerian Christian, mind is like. And they know, what will be helpful to them. So I will personally write them down. I will write that order down. Or if you missed it, please go and watch this video again. Share the video on your timeline and watch it again and get that order right. And then be giving to other people, recommend to other people. I will be waiting for the slides from them. So because I will be sending them to other people as well, so that people will know that this order will be good for them. Do we have a caller already? Okay, I think we have a caller.
Yes.
Hello?
Good evening, DSA.
Hello?
Good evening, DSA.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Who is calling from where?
Yes, this is Martins from Lagos.
Martins all the way from Lagos. Well, we have Nigerians online today.
Yes, DSA. It is good to have you. And Mr. and Mrs., please, I really appreciate you. It is good to have you guys too. So you guys are my neighbor. I believe we're, calling all the way and keeping up from Lagos too. DSA, and I really want to appreciate the couple in the house and for bringing up a good observation and being of a good testimony,
Yes.
to us Nigerians and what they've learned and what we can also do to help our lives and our marital lives, easy. And I really, really, really appreciate them, and I really appreciate you. And to those that are still not, have not picking up most of these materials, please try and do so. But I would like to go on a very much realistic, dimension or view on this whole thing.
Okay.
You see, DSA, these books are life-changing. But I tend to notice something, that the people in which this book are really intended for, it is intended for everybody.
Yes.
But most people, I think most of your materials, people relate with most of your materials that are visual and the one they listen to more. Like your video and your audio and your Facebook and all that. Yes. People tend to relate with them because this is something that they see on their on their gadgets, and if you notice, a lot of people like to come on most of their gadgets. They come online and all that. They see most of these materials before they now start going back to the book. So I believe that if DSA can, or if it is possible to input some of these things on this book into visuals like movies, and some, in a bit of a way that can still relate with the kids, that they can see, they can hear also, I think it will go a long way.
Yes.
Because I won't lie to you, DSA, the way the country is, a lot of people are frustrated, talk less of coming back from work late and start reading a book. Let us be. Yes, it is so bad. Imagine a couple leaving the house early in the morning, going to work after the stress, as the couple in the house said it, after the stress, coming back home late in the night and pick a book and start reading. Come on. A lot of people, especially here in Lagos, going with the traffic and all that, coming back, even the weekend that they have, they still don't rest. They go to church, they go to meeting. When do you think they can pick up a book and read, compared to when they can easily pick up their phones and their gadgets and see DSA and hear what it's saying? So I believe, and it is something that has come to my own observation, that people tend to relate more with when they see you, they hear you, than the book. Some people can just pick up the book, read 1 or 2 pages and all that, and they sleep off. It is not because they don't want to, but going with the reality on ground, sir, the way the situation is, a lot of people are stressed out.
Wow.
Trying to keep up, make a living and all that. So I think they really, 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 see it easier when they listen to your messages, they go online and they hear more. It really wants to make them. And I really, really thank you, sir, for giving time to make sure you preach most of these messages and all that. It is life transforming. I've always told you something, sir. You have time on your side.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, people will always come back to these things and relate with it. So thank you very much. And I'm so, so happy people are now beginning to see the truth and they can relate with it.
What you have just spoken about is what we are working on. We are working on it.
Okay.
We have different strategies. But now, before we get to those times when we will have audio messages, video, visuals, and games, and we have all those plans. But before then, right now, especially for those people who are buying the video, who are buying the books on Okada Books, there is a gadget there, or there is a function there where the book can be playing on your telephone, and so you don't even need to sit down to read it. While you are in go slow, the book will be playing audio. It will be, there is a voice over. It will be automatic, so it might be easier for people that way.
Yes, I think it's easier that way, because I appreciate that, because it's now making it reader friendly. It's making the reader now to be able to do other things while he or she is listening to the book.
But only that is for the electronic books.
Yes, that's e-reading.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, DSA. God bless you and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Martins.
We are expecting you and we are very much behind you.
This year, I want to believe God that this year will be the year in Jesus' name. So that is Mr. Martins from Lagos. Is contributing that life in Lagos is so tedious that it will be easier to have it on visuals, like audio, video. But, for those people, I know somebody from Lagos, actually, Michael Oshibajo, who does like that. He goes to Okada Books, buy the books online, because on Okada Books, I intentionally made them very cheap. And then he can read them, through his gadgets, just his automatic reading or e-reading. I think we have another caller now. Hello? Yes.
Hi, TSA.
Who is calling from where?
Adiola from London.
Adiola from London. Can you speak louder? It's like your telephone is far a bit from you.
Oh, no, I'm speaking into my device directly.
This is Mrs. Adiola that was at the HMT.
That's right.
Wow. Please just speak louder, man.
Okay. Is it clear now?
Better.
All right. Actually, I really commend this couple, because, I go to, Nigeria regularly, and I've been trying to convince, try to tell couples of their own age group, because, I told you when I came to the HMT that I target those age group. And, these couples have really, really tried, despite, because I know what is going on in Lagos. I go there 2 months every year. So I know. So they have put a lot of effort. I commend them. I really, really commend them. But I want to ask them one question. What do they do for a living? Because, it depends on your living status that could afford you some level of internet, checking on the series and listening and able to afford listening to this series. Those are the things one should take into consideration to, know the minimum, level of income that could give you that age, and then you now put your own effort, because Nigerians, they don't want to put effort. That's where I get cross with them. You got to put effort before, like Yoruba says,
yes.
If you put effort in something will propel you, and the minute you grasp just a little bit of it, that will start, ginger you up to go further, So that's what I want to ask them, to give me a level of income that really gives you that a little bit push and effort to go in further to develop, because all we are saying is to develop themselves, not to develop anybody. All what you do is to develop yourself, and then the nation will be developed.
I will ask them to answer that question. I know that Chioma is not working. She was working when we met, but she stopped working because she really wanted to discover herself and grow and realize herself. Only the husband is working, but they will speak now for themselves. Thank you so much, Sister Diola. Blessings.
Thank you.
All right. Okay,
I'll go first on this. When we met a pastor, like we explained, we were down. We had our issues financially, okay? On these messages, I would say that, yes, we understand there is a challenge with the internet, but life is about choices. If earlier on when we were discussing, I said we had to make adjustment because we saw that we just found our answer. We've been looking for this thing, sowing the little we had, and we weren't getting the answers. We had to rather sow into the internet. We started sowing there.
Instead of sowing in the church.
Yes. We started sowing into internet, and we had to cut off other things. We had to adjust our own expenses too. We had to, inconvenience ourselves. It didn't come conveniently. Even now, it still doesn't come conveniently. But we have told ourselves that on the internet, this is non-negotiable. Just the same way you can choose to eat your 3 meals daily, you can decide to forgo one so that you can save a little bit more to put on your internet. For us, the bill on internet, we don't negotiate it. Yeah. We rather put that one down, then we can negotiate other ones. So we always try to keep working around our budget just to ensure that which will give us the life, we don't compromise on it. So it's not really a thing of income level here. I think it's more of priority. What you have called important. When you make something important to you, you have to adjust every other thing to deal with that. That's what I can say around that.
I think she's spoken my mind. Jesus said about a man who was looking for a treasure. He had to sell his field to get the treasure, to buy the treasure. So for us, it was actually something really important. So we prioritized it, and we started investing in that rather than investing in other things. And there are practical things you can do in Lagos. In Lagos now, this is for Lagos actually. There are a lot of 4G internet providers. There's Swift, there's Spectra Net, and a lot of them. In fact, Facebook actually sponsored one that is really, really cheap. With 9,500 naira, you can actually get a whole month unlimited access to internet. So anybody who really, 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 really wants this, there's no excuse. Money will not be a problem.
Okay.
So that's
we have other callers, and we're going to find out who is the next caller. But meanwhile, I want to say my latest book is Am I Ready to Become a Husband? And this is the book on the screen. Am I Ready to Become a Husband? We also have the other one, Am I Ready to Be a Wife? So they balance each other. But this is the latest one. It's still on sales right now. So like $3 plus. So you can still get it. But once it's released, it's going to go up out there. So this is the pre-order for people who want to get it on Amazon. And all these books will be, most of them, the wife one is already in Nigeria. This one will be in Nigeria very soon, but they're already on our Okada books. Hello?
Hello, DSA.
We need you to speak louder and direct to the microphone. Is that Mabel?
Yes, sir. Good morning from California.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
We need your voice higher, or you need to somehow, I don't know why your voice need to go direct into the speaker.
I am there. I don't know why. Is it clearer now?
Well, just keep on talking. Not bad.
Okay. There are things I will hear and I can't keep quiet. I know by now people will be saying, each time this woman will call, I think that would tell them where my calling is.
Yeah.
Because whatever anybody do and you hate or you love, that's your calling there.
Yeah.
So if I keep calling every day, that will show them that I have passion for what you are doing, for the truth you have. And I must commend this couple. You see what we suffer in marriages.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I realize about you, dear, about your preaching, about who you are. No marriage that is at age of breaking that meets you and will not turn around to be the best.
Glory to God.
There is none.
Yeah.
But here comes the problem, and God warned us about this. During the time of ignorance, God said He forgives. But when you know and then still want to go back, I hope whoever that is on this platform knows where I'm going. God will disgrace you. When you know the truth and you decide to play with that truth, God will outrightly show you that he is not a God to toy with, in as much as he is so forgiven. That's what that's number one. And let me speak about us, about DSA's ignorance or boasting. The Bible says, if you want to boast, boast in the Lord. Please, my dear people, if DSA is boasting, he's boasting because he knows the Father he has. He can't but boast with his Father. He cannot but boast with him. Look at the books we are criticizing, that he's selling book, and look at books turning families around. What can be more beautiful than this? Look at that young people that were at the edge of breaking off, this one will go his way, this one will go his way. And what happens? The lady will get another husband and it will still be the same thing. The man will get another wife and it will still be the same. This one will be suffering in his own side. Oh, now I know why your husband left you. This one will be suffering in his own side. Now I know why your wife left you. But it was a single thing. Do the right thing. Which whoever that missed DSA gets it right. Look at how happy they are now. Okay, let me now go to the... Please, my dear couple, you said something about movement, about DSA's book. Whatever it takes for this movement to go forward in Nigeria, please count me number one. I would love to know what it is, and I'm all in. I want this book to go viral, to go wherever I want to go. Let it go. Let these books go to wherever it would go. Concerning the children, there is this brother and wife of mine that are so rich, and they're in Bishop Okonkwo's church. They started early. This couple, their children are giving them pepper. Why? Because the value wasn't instilled on the children. What they're hearing, this couple, we always give them credit. If you say, where are the good couple in the church or in Nigeria or in my town, we will give you them first. But why will a couple that is in the Lord, if that church, if that shrine they call church is what it is, why will their children be giving them problem? Because the children didn't get the core value. The main thing that is supposed to be given to the children, nobody is giving to them. Yeah. And they will grow up being something else.
Very sad.
So can't we see that something is wrong here?
Yeah.
Okay, look at a couple that is not even, they were losing their whatever they have, and they are telling them so dangerously. You get your profit, you sow. You go back to where you started from. You get your profit, you sow. You go back, and they even know that they are not doing anything anymore. They keep encouraging them. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. The last one, maybe when you stop, it will not come up. Meanwhile, they are receiving their own right there. It's really so sad. DSA, anybody that will come against you, I don't know what that person is thinking. I don't know. But then it's even good, because even ordinary 12, just 12 numbers, one betrayed Christ. Talk less of all this multitude. So I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't know what they would be thinking. As far as I'm concerned, I say it again, DSA, where you die, I will die. Let me stop there.
You are like Ruth.
Thank you so much. Where you die with this truth, I will die. That's it.
Thank
no
you.
Going back.
Thank you so much.
You got it right. And thank you again for working for the one that sent you to our generation. Bless God and bless you.
Thank you so much.
My great family of God. I still remain Mebo Chinwe, the Esther of Igbo land. Thank you, sir.
But these people are Igbo people too.
Thank God we're getting it. We are getting it. Ngere is there getting it. Tikakati is there getting it. I'm so blessed that our people are not so dumb anymore. We are coming.
Thank you.
We are coming, and thank you for being there for us.
Thank you so much, Mabel. Mabel Chinwe, coming from the US. That's it. That's all the call we have today. What would the Nwigwe says today about that?
Well, this is so interesting. We're encouraging everyone to go and get those messages, get those. There's a lot happening. You shouldn't wait to join the bandwagon when it is cheap. To jump in now and get those materials and prepare yourself. There's a lot happening in the future.
Pastor already knows Nigerian transportation right in it, and I don't see any transformation outside Pastor Sunday and mess.
I think we are not hearing you. What happened there?
Okay, I said
now it's good.
Problem.
Yeah.
Every time I see a problem in Nigeria, I'm excited because the answer has already been provided. So I'm really excited. Anytime I see a new book, I'm so excited that, oh, there's no answer to the problem. So whatever the issues are, the answers are already there. So viewers, please let us appreciate what Pastor Sunday is doing. I don't think any human being has ever done this. And I join my sister, Sister Mabel, where Pastor Sunday says, I die too.
The spirit of Ruth. Thank you.
Because and we found the solutions through his material. So I don't have any choice but to make sure that every human being around me, and this was the reason I put myself into the whole thing. I said, this message, this book, who are you? Whatever your name is, there is a solution already that has been provided. And that gospel, I will continue to preach it all the days of my life because this is the solution that has helped me. I don't have any other one to sell to people. Yeah. So thank you, Pastor Sunday, for your great work.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so very much, Uche and Chioma. You have done so well today. And I think that everybody should keep this particular video so that we could give them as recommendation to people and so that people will have a navigation in their mind of how to explore these messages that we have there in YouTube. So thank you so much. I will be back in the next 10-15 minutes to continue the series on redemption, salvation, and how to be born again. So we'll see you soon, everyone. Blessings.